Hey, you guys. Gosh, when you wear headphones, you can hear yourself loudly. Yikes. It's Jamie Porter, and I'm excited. We are bringing to you the 411 on the 321. We've got Jerry, we've got Amy. We're missing our buddy Eric tonight. He had some other plans. So you've got the three of us tonight. So it's been a crazy week. I feel like first, in one hand, I feel like June is flying by, and the other hand, I'm like, oh my God, every day. This has been like the Twilight Zone year for sure. No doubt. Like just the Twilight Zone.
Yeah.
Kind of like, it's like you have normality, but then you have weirdness. Like everything's weird. Like see an old friend, you just want to run in for the hug. She's like 75, and she's same thing, hug her. And then you're like, wait, no, I could be endangering you. Back up, elbow. You know what I mean? It's just so weird. It's just weird.
The funniest thing I saw is a thing that says, 2020 is like, but wait, there's more.
There's more.
Like every time we turn around, there's something new. So
true.
But
crazy.
If you look at where we are right now compared to 3 months ago when we really were kind of unsure. I know we've seen a spike a little bit in the cases, but still the mortality rate stays pretty low. And if we're smart, about it, and I think we're going to be able to get our economy going again and keep a relative low mortality rate, which, you wish that it was at zero, but it is what it is. We have to balance. We can't shut down completely. So
I feel like for me, it's kind of like you don't know what you don't have till it's gone, and the ability to work, just the privilege and the ability to work, when that sort of is taken from us, not by our own accord necessarily, this is out of, left field virus. Yeah. All of a sudden, people want to work, and like, unemployment is coming, getting lower. Massive amounts of jobs are coming back, and
great news.
And even if with the spikes, I think that, and I think it's really important. I was thinking about this today. It's really important to remember that we don't want to lose the privilege of working again, right? So if we have to hold off on the parties and the socialization so that we can still work, I think everybody would be happy to know that we can still work. Like, of the two, work comes first and then play. But really, like, just we all want to work. We just want to work. I posted you guys know the family that does what is it? The family that does all the funny little jingles with the different songs.
Oh yeah.
I guess the Holderness family.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They do all these things. Anyway, he just did a 80s hair band love ballad one about staying home, and it was I just posted it last night. It was hilarious. I was laughing so hard, because it's like we just want to get back to work, tired of sitting in my chair, tired all these things. It was really funny, but I think working is, and I think it's good for us to know that we all love to work. I mean, it's
love to work, love to socialize. The absence makes the heart go fonder.
For sure. And by the way, happy birthday.
Thank you.
We did have a little socialization.
What part? I don't know what you're talking about.
Little one. Amy can listen, y'all. If y'all don't know, Jerry loves bourbon. Anybody who knows Jerry knows that. So he got a few bottles of bourbon at his party. He turned the big 50. Just going to throw that out there, Jerry, because I know you won't. So David Becker says thank you. Not sure what he's thanking you for, but you get a thank you.
David wants in on the bourbon.
There you go. So he got 8 bottles, different. The most amazing thing to me was it was different types of bourbon. Did you have any duplicates?
And good ones? No, not a single
one. That
is
just insane.
And somehow some of the best too. Some Calumet 12-year. And it's so funny because I posted a picture and then instantly I looked at it and I thought, God, if you don't know me, you think that I'm like, like it's just constant.
Well, I expect a bourbon tasting soon from you. Yeah. Like I can't honestly say I don't know anything about bourbon, but I mean, you got enough for a whole show. Like you can just do flights of bourbon everywhere.
I have some friends. Good friends that we do a bourbon tasting annually every year, and they're also some of my poker buddies. So,
That's
they were
awesome.
happy. I brought up one of the bottles last night for poker, and we enjoyed
Oh
it.
yeah. Which one did you break open last night?
Last night was the Winchester.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
Well,
really good.
Do you have any of the market reports or any of the stats you want to share with everybody? So we'll make this a little something to do with something.
Yeah, really, I mean, we talk each week about the numbers, and I'm looking at the charts right now. But the trend that I really wanted to talk about was I looked at market stats year over year for the month of April and month of May. Since those 2 months are complete, we can kind of see a trend. So I'll just go through the month of April, 2019 over 2020. We were down. Everybody was still kind of in that unsure, it had slowed a little bit. So our new listings were down 34%. Our closed was down 24%. And our under contract was down 11%, only 11%. When you think about where we were, that we were still, if you don't see that 24 and 34, that it's only 11, you see that we were still doing some business as far as buyers go. And we've talked a little bit about, how we have people moving into the area still for the aerospace industry, and how we still need listings. We need sellers. So, the under contract was down in April, but nothing like the new listings and the closed and the withdrawn. We were down 30%, which is actually good because there weren't as many withdrawn.
Right.
And canceled was down 14%, which, when I say down on the other numbers, new listings down, that's a little different. But when you say withdrawn and canceled down, that means less were actually pulled down. So it obviously indicates that we have buyers, and yet we still need some. We still need sellers. So now let me flip over to May and compare that, because new listings May 2019 to 2020 is down 32%. It's very similar to where we were. Closed down 35%. It's very similar to where we were on the comparison of April. Under contract, up 70%. We have buyers.
That's insane, because if our listings are down and our under contract is up, that just is eating into our inventory even more, keeping it down in a seller's market. Like
I said,
the last I checked, we had like 2.9796 inventory level.
Yeah.
And wow, I feel like that's eating into that even more.
May had better numbers on withdrawn and canceled as well. So, back on the market was down 8%, which means those contracts are going through. People are buying houses right now. So now's a great time if you're thinking about selling.
My last three contracts that I have currently going on are from out of state people coming in. Are you finding that as well? Like, not just people moving around here, but people coming in from out of state.
Yeah.
And buying. And not, I'm just one of a gajillion of us out there, but I just realized that we have great companies that are still thriving, hiring,
growing,
and
the industry bringing everybody down. That's not going to stop.
Yeah. So. Yeah. How many launches have we had in the last 3 weeks? It's been 5, maybe 4 or 5.
Pretty exciting one, that's for sure.
Yeah.
We've got a couple. We also have, let me see, we have 2 more coming up too. I was just looking at that. Let me see. We have a Falcon 9, a Starlink on June 23rd launching. That's what is that? That's next Tuesday. Yeah. Next Tuesday is a Falcon 9, and then I think again.
Is that a day or a night launch?
It doesn't have the times yet, at least on the site that I use. It says check near launch date. And then there's a Falcon 9 Block 5 launching on June 30th as well. So they're starting to. But remember, we had heard this, and before COVID, we were kind of expecting to see a launch every week or two. Between ULA and SpaceX. So. I think we're going to be getting back to that pretty quickly.
It's exciting, really exciting.
Huh. Did you watch the? We haven't even talked about the man. No, we did mention it. I think on one of the shows, but we had a guest that kind of took the rest of the show. But the man launched. Where were you?
Oh, well, you guys, were you even born? Wait,
No, I
the
mean
one,
the one that just
I
went.
just had. I was gonna
Yeah.
say, wait, what? Where was I? Where was I?
Didn't you say you were on the causeway or something?
Oh yeah. Thank you. I'm like, I feel like that was like, a year ago.
Yeah.
Every day feels like it's forever, but then I get at the same time I think things are flying. Yeah, my son and I was thinking for some reason because they had delayed it. I was thinking that it was going to be around 4:30, and we were driving over the Pineda coming from the beach to the mainland. And of course, there was lots of cars getting their parking spaces, and every single one. This was Pineda Causeway. I mean, the 520 Causeway. I'm sure the 520, all of them were loaded with people. And I was like, wow, everybody's getting an early start, and I said, well, Joe, we should probably pull over, but it's like super late. But then I see this guy walking with a camera, and I'm like, wait a minute, he's a really prepared person to be an hour and a half ready with his camera. So
Yeah.
what time does it go? So he pulled it up on my thing. I said, let me just pull over. I got a nice spot. I mean, it was like right there. And we did. We watched. It was a little bit cloudy and a little bit hazy cloudy, so we actually didn't see it, but we saw it great on my phone.
Yeah.
It's just neat. It's like the Super Bowl. Everybody comes out. Everybody's happy, and we're all focused on something positive. Everything else, all the other crap of the world, goes away for the one little moment in time, and we all as a county come together, and it's just a really positive thing. So, have you been seeing all the videos about the beaches, the turtles? Lane?
No, I'm excited. Tell me.
I feel like we should get the sea turtle people on here because for some reason I feel like it's more activity than ever. I've seen more videos lately of just people on the beach seeing the sea turtles coming up, and I think I feel like it might be a really good year for them.
I'd love to. Yeah, we should get somebody on because I'll tell you what. I grew up, and it's really funny. My parents had a timeshare down in Sebastian since I was 11 years old, and
that's a long time.
Yeah, it's when we
just kidding.
Thanks. But really, when we first started going down there, Captain Hiram's didn't exist. It was a boat storage.
Oh wow,
that was it. There was no restaurant there. Oh yeah. It was there was nothing there. Oyster Bay wasn't there. The hotel right there. So it was just this beautiful property, and it came with a little boat, and then it just started expanding. But it's such a great place. But through the years, as we left the house and they started having grandchildren, they would take one grandchild per year and spend their time down there with one grandchild. And that was one of the activities every year. And the kids still talk about it, was going out on the tour at night and watching the laying of the turtles laying their eggs.
You used to be able to take your flashlight. I don't think you can do that anymore, but because I remember going with this little boy named Paul. I lived on Tampa Avenue in Indiana, and he lived on Cocoa, which is like right behind. And his parents were taking him, and my parents were trying to make it be like he was my boyfriend. We were like 6 years old, like first grade or something. And I'm like, he's not my boyfriend. He's just a boy and a friend. Anyway, we went with the family, and we saw him. I mean, I remember we had the flashlight, and it's a cool thing. So I love the laying of it. And then of course, when they start hatching, you get lucky enough to be around when one just hatches. I actually got to just see that myself.
And
the day.
So you can get right up in there.
Oh yeah, they you don't know, like they pop up and they're just good. And I remember mine was going the wrong way because it was the middle of the day, so I had to turn him the other way. Like, that's my buddy, But they're so cute. But it's just kind of a neat thing here. I hope the hurricane season doesn't wash a bunch of them away, and I mean, the percentage of them actually making it to adulthood is pretty low. Just from getting from the nest to the ocean. That's one thing with the predators and the people, and they're going the wrong way.
Like
the birds.
1,000.
Yeah. And then once they get in the ocean, then they got to grow and not more predators, to get to adulthood. So,
Amy, didn't Joseph, didn't your son do something?
On a field trip.
On a field trip. And what was those numbers again?
It's 1 per 1,000 that survive.
Wow.
Yeah, crazy.
we got a question. I'm in Slack in here. So David says, what's lack of inventory doing to the rental market? Oh, I can tell you from just a personal experience, I bet we've all have this, but I have clients selling their house and they got to move. They wanted to go into a rental before they purchased because they weren't sure that, the market makes everybody a little uncertain, right? And so they just thought, let's just rent for, less than a year, kind of feel where we want to go. And then maybe if we see something that we just love, then we'll jump in. And they didn't see anything they love right now. So that's why they're doing that. And we would go look at a place. We'd go look at actually, we'd set up 4 places the night before. The morning of, one was already, gone, already under contract. So we were looking at the second place, the third place, and then the fourth one. Before we even got to the fourth one, which I had set up on the tour, was already, I got a call saying that one's now taken as well. I mean, it's like that fast. I did finally find a place that really, it won't even be available till July 8th. Okay. But we went to look at it, and they're closing on June 29th. June 29th. It won't be available till July 8th. But they are going to do a staycation somewhere and put their stuff in storage because that's how slim pickings is for the rentals. Are you guys experiencing the same thing?
Oh, yeah. Go ahead, Amy. You just worked with one not too long ago. Up in Titusville.
Oh, yeah. That wasn't all going on so much then, but just in my own, I know that people call all the time looking for, are you going to have any vacancies and so on and so forth? And I don't. So
it's crazy.
Yeah.
I have a client that just moved from out of state. She's moving here. She was going to rent first because she doesn't, know the area. Thought she would get into a rental first and then buy. Could not find a rental at all. Ended up buying a house. You know what I mean? It's really crazy, the rental market, I think.
Yeah.
So.
Well, it's in line with exactly what we're talking about. We have more people coming in. I think we're just going to see a big growth. When you look at all the industry that's coming to Brevard County, we've done a really good job of attracting companies here, and which means jobs, but it means housing. So both of our markets are pretty challenged right now with needing inventory. So.
Yeah, for sure. Recently, like today, I just want to give a shout out to AECI Engineering. They did a home inspection for me today. I've used them several times, and Clay Nichols with them. I have a couple of great inspectors, but I'm gonna shout out Clay with AECI Engineering because they're just so thorough. But what I love about Clay is he takes pictures, not just of the bad things, but of the good things too. And so this is a first time home buyer and moving from an out of state place, and New Jersey is different than Florida. Like she was so excited that we had a foundation, like a concrete foundation, and not being built off grade, which most of here is, some are off grade, the old houses, but do you know what I mean? Most of them are a concrete foundation. She was so excited, and it's just little things like that we take for normal, is not normal in other places of the country. So he takes the extra step of explaining, not talking down, not thinking they already know something and glossing over stuff. He just very systematically goes through every point of every part of the house, like the AC. And he goes, this is not in my report, but I recommend, you put something in it to keep the algae, because here algae can grow up because of the humidity, and that was not something she'd ever even heard of. You know what I mean? And I know for firsthand, as Amy knows, every single May, my thing, because we don't do it every 3 months to put the vinegar or whatever in the line. We don't do that, and we should do that. And every May, we have to get the shop back and suck the stuff out, right?
Yeah.
That's a thing. It's just a Florida thing, it's just one of the things that we deal. But anyway, he's really, really great. And I hear people who buy homes and don't do a home inspection just to save a couple $100. It's a couple $100, like literally less than $400. And to find out all the things that might be wrong with your home, and to find out the big things are fine. Do you know what I mean? It's totally worth it because,
Well, if you think, especially if you're if you're financing, you have to have at least a wind mitigation,
Right.
4-point inspection. So to pay, so you're already going to pay some.
Right.
So the little bit extra.
I mean, they check all the plugs to make sure all the outlets work. There's nothing worse than moving into a home and not all the outlets work. And you have to pay a service call for an electrician. It's better to know it going into it ahead of time, than versus going, I thought everything worked and it doesn't all work. Or, you had a leak over here, but you didn't know about it and they covered it up, and they find those things. So anyway, I just love how he explains everything and super thorough, all pictures everywhere. It's funny. One of the screens had a hole in it. He goes, and I have a picture with my finger through it. So that's a hole. But it's just so, things like that. A hole in the screen isn't going to like make or break buying a house, of course, but at least you know that you've known about it before you bought it. So you're okay. You know what I mean? It's the surprises that you don't like.
You were asking was it next door about
pest control.
The man I recommended, DRT, I knew him probably 17 or more years ago when he was just one guy doing a few houses, and now he is one guy and a secretary and a bookkeeper, and but one of the most trustworthy men in business that I've ever dealt with. So
that's awesome. So what is it? What was it?
DRT.
So yeah, we got to get some pest control. I want, what I want? I had a great guy, super great son and father and son team, but they didn't do the spider eggs. And I need somebody, you know what I mean? Those little things. I am terrified of spiders, like terrified of them. And I wish I could say that my husband's this guy that's he doesn't like him any much as more than me.
You have company over here on your screen this way. Somebody else who doesn't care for them.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, please don't tell me there's a spider on my screen. I was like, getting a little freak there for a second. I'm like, wait, what?
Spiders are probably my only real.
I am truly terrified of them.
Yeah.
Snakes, I got no problem with snakes. In fact, I've even gone and looked up online. Is that a poisonous one or a safe one? Because I don't want to kill one if it's not poisonous. But so I need somebody, and those dirt dog, I don't know what they're called, but I call them dirt daubers. So getting up in the porch ceilings. I want all that taken down, like once a month or every other month or whatever.
Mud daubers are good because if you bust those sacks, you'll see there's just a ton of dead spiders in there. Just saying. That's
but I don't want the sacks.
The gray.
Yes, but I don't want that there.
Spiders.
Yeah. If they eat the spiders. If they ate the spider eggs, that would be good. That's the thing about spider eggs is you don't know. You could whack it and it could be close to hatching, and then all of a sudden you got a million spiders everywhere. Like, how long does it take for those things to hatch? It's scary. That's all I'm gonna say.
So, I was just sitting here thinking as it's scrolling across the bottom of the screen, the 411 on the 321, and here we've shared pest control, we've shared a good inspector. On past shows, we've had, all kinds of beekeeper, a bicycle shop owner who's also a motivational speaker, a veterans homeless. So there's fun stuff. There's fun stuff to do here too.
Yes.
And we need to get some of that money going back locally. So
Scott's on 5th. Don't forget.
I was about to say, yeah.
Scott's on 5th every night at 6:30. So as soon as we're done, switch over to Scott's on 5th. You can watch his cooking show.
One of my favorite places in Brevard.
Is it Scott's on 5th? Is that one?
Oh,
that's right. Oh, I just served that right up for you.
Yeah, one of my favorite places in Brevard. And it's funny because for the longest time, like if you ask me where to go in Brevard for a nice date night or just a really nice evening, there's a few. Dijon's has always been my go-to for the longest time.
Do you remember when it used to be Poor Richard's?
Yeah, I did know that. Yeah.
Yeah, a long time ago.
Yeah. And then, but Scott's on 5th has moved up to that top spot. If I'm picking someplace.
Wow, I've never been.
It's really good. Yeah.
Yeah, I've never been. So, I will tell you my favorite dessert in town. If we're going to talk dessert, which nobody said anything about dessert, but I'll just share it with you. Is Crutch 11 has a maple bacon. Maple something bacon, and it might be like a spicy bacon, maple spicy bacon ice cream. That is freaking. Oh no, maple bacon and pralines ice cream. The bomb, like ridiculous. Like
So,
I'm a chocolate girl, and I would have that every day, like forever. Like it is that good. It's insane.
they used to have a carrot cake ice cream in the mason jar, but that was in Cocoa Village. I have to say, I loved Crush 11, and yet I still have not visited the one.
I haven't been to the one either. This was when they were over in Cocoa Village too.
Yeah.
I haven't been to the downtown Melbourne new one. That's
Yeah.
funny that you say that.
I definitely want to try it. In the North End, I'll just mention, if there's a lot of Titusville friends of mine, and Amy's, that's where we come from. There was a great place called Chef Larry's, and it was delicious. It was a very small, intimate place, and Chef Larry just passed. I just found that out. Might have been today or something. So our thoughts go out to the
like just passed.
family. Yeah,
yesterday.
I just found out today. So, our thoughts go out to him. He was super active in the community too. Did a lot of always was stepping up to do things in the community, and just had a great little place. So he'll be certainly missed. So condolences to that to his family.
Amy, what's your favorite place to eat in town?
Oh my gosh. My favorite place to eat.
And if you say Chili's, I'm gonna shoot you. No, I'm kidding. Nothing against Chili's. I didn't want to make that but I mean, there's so many like individual restaurants. I was just
all-time favorite.
What?
Experience included. All-time favorite and experience included for me is Miss Apples.
Miss what?
Wait, Miss Apples.
Yes.
What is that? That's
You haven't been to Miss Apples? So
are you guys joking right now? You're joking. Is it like your mom or something?
So no. Causeway.
Where?
Just on the other side, 520 Causeway, just on the other side, at the end of the bottom of the bridge. On the left-hand side is this little place that looks like it might be maybe a seafood market of some sort. And it is a little bit like that, but you go in and there's vats of all different size crabs. And then they have, of course, like frozen seafood also, where they have fresh shrimp. And you go in and you get your bucket and you tongs and you pick out your crabs and you throw them in the bucket. They're alive. And then you give them instructions as to how you'd like to have it cooked.
I have never heard of this place.
It's spicy all day.
We're going to have to go.
So
have to take a little time because sometimes it's incredibly busy.
I have never heard of it.
Paper bag back with your crabs in it. You go outside, you pull some paper, throw it on your picnic table, and you beat those crabs and eat that meat like it's party every time.
It's the big red crab, that big red crab you see when you're coming over the bridge from Cocoa to Merritt Island. Yeah. And they it is a seafood market, but they'll steam them there. They'll do it with Old Bay, a spicy or a regular.
I did not know that.
And they have picnic tables outside with the brown paper that you can spread out. And they don't care if you bring my mom is a huge crab lover. She just goes to town on them. So they don't care if you bring drinks and sides and everything, and you can have a little picnic there.
That sounds like fun. I didn't even know that existed. Yeah, although I will say I'm from Southern End, like Melbourne Beach and the Atlantic, Century. That I'm more familiar with Southern End from 520 South, not up that end. But
hi Melanie, we love you. I just thought that.
Before we get off, we've got 1 minute left. Let's definitely tell everybody about our 321 home buyers. Our next 321 home buyers. This is kind of how this whole thing got started because we used to do that. Like every 6 weeks or so, we'd have a home buyers seminar where we would have a small group of people. We'd meet usually at Charlie and Jake's in their side room, and we had Eric with mortgages and us, and we would just kind of talk about the process of buying a home, especially if just like a credit. Do you need good credit? What's all the different nuances to getting a home? And so we decided, when we couldn't see each other in person, that we started this show just kind of talk about things. This kind of ended up going into having community outreach and fun. But we do have our next one. We decided to try and do a small one in person. What day did we pick?
June 30th, Tuesday, June 30th. 6:30 p.m. at Charlie and Jake's.
Yeah. So and this one's going to be geared for first-time home buyers. So if you are a first-time home buyer, or somebody who is going to be a first-time home buyer, this is just a free thing that we do. no strings attached. This is just a place that you can ask any question. No question is a stupid question. And we kind of show you the process. We walk you through what the process is so that you don't, put the cart before the horse and then get disappointed or whatever. You understand what all the lingo is too. There's a lot of lingo out there and a lot of, initials that you may not know. Eric is great in talking in initials, and I have a little glossary for you. So you can decode everything that he's saying, but also when you're out there talking to other people, other professionals and stuff. So anyway, 6:30, Charlie and Jake's. We will have like a little registration form or just reach out to one of us if you want to come, just because we do want to keep it small. So we kind of stay within that social guideline criteria.
Yeah.
All right. We have managed to chit chat for 30 minutes and we have shared some gems. I learned some things with you guys I didn't even know about. So I'm excited. I'm going to get some crabs. I like crabs. Yeah, we have to do that. All right, you guys. Well, thanks for joining us, everybody. And we will be back next week, 6:00. So share with your friends and we'll see you next week. Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye.